first thing you're going to need to do is get a ruler, a piece of cardboard, and a piece of white paper, and a pencil for this lesson. I wanted to show you how I made my square. So I took a piece of scrap. This is cardboard that came in an Amazon delivery. And I just took a piece and cut it into a square. So I took a corner, and if you look on a ruler, the large number are inches. If you go on the other side, these smaller numbers are centimeters. Don't use centimeters, otherwise your square will be very tiny. We're using inches. On this ruler, you can see it. 1, 2. I'm going to make about 2 inches. Okay? So if you use a corner of the box or the cardboard, it's already straight. So there's 2 inches, and you can use your pencil and you can mark where the long line is. Then you turn the cardboard and go to the end. It's at 2. And then the end of this ruler is like that. And I would move it down so that you know how to make the corner. So you see that's at 2. This is the corner. You can just draw a straight line, as long as it's straight. And then you can now connect from that little corner. Make sure it's 2 inches. Good. And then you can make your square. And then you take your scissors and you can cut, and you'll have your square. All right, you cut your cardboard into a square, about 2 inches. 2 inches. And then you're going to take this square and we're going to repeat it 9 times in a grid. So give a little bit of a space around, because we're going to be using that white space as part of our design. So you want to trace the first square. Don't let it move. So press in the center of the square so that the square does not move. Okay, then move it down a little bit. Try to match the size of the space between if you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of eyeball it or guesstimate. You can use a ruler if you want it exact. Then give a space again for the last square. So you're going to do 3 rows of 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So there's my first 3 squares. I hope you can see my pencil lines. I realize on the camera it's not very dark. So again, I'm going to repeat just like I did. Same space. Trace the square. Okay. And again, you can line it up. You can use the ruler if you want to help you put it in place. It can help. Okay. And one more for this row. Okay, and then you're going to give space again. 3 rows. So far we have 2 rows of 3. Our last row. Line it up. Okay. And trace the square. Okay, we'll do it again. So it's 8 squares. We need 1 more to make our 9. Oops, that was up a little bit, but that's okay. And then you trace the last square. So now we have 3 rows of 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And we're going to do something inside them. Before we can continue drawing, we need to learn a little bit about what a horizon line or your eye level refers to. When you're looking outside at a landscape, for instance, and you see how the sky and the land or the sky and water come together, that creates the horizon line at your eye level. If you're looking at one fixed object, like this road, you'll notice that the road comes together at a point. That's as far as you can see on that road. That's called the vanishing point. And on the two sides of the road, those are the vanishing lines. Now, if you look at this image, you see that there's a worm view looking up and a bird view looking down. We would all have different eye levels depending on where we're standing. If we're high in the air, we're looking down. If we're looking up like a worm, then your eye level would be lower. Can you figure out where the vanishing point is in this photograph? It would be just above the end of that dock. So now I'm going to imagine that there's a horizon line that goes right through the center square. Okay, the horizon line is your eye level. In the center of this square, that is going to be your vanishing point. That is the dot that you are looking straight at. And all of these boxes are going to look as though you're looking inside tunnels. And the tunnels will all converge at this vanishing point, that dot in the middle of that first square. So once you have the dot, you're going to be using your ruler. You're going to be drawing inside the boxes. You're not drawing inside the white spaces between the boxes, because that's going to be the face of the wall as if you're looking through these tunnels, these square tunnels. So I'll just show you how to do the first one. So you put your pencil on the dot, put your ruler up against it, and you line it up with the corner. Just like that. You're going to do the same thing at the top. And you can turn this, and you're going to go to the vanishing point. Just like that. So it looks like you're looking into a tunnel. Okay? Now if we did that, all of these boxes, all of the corners, or any lines that you create will go to the vanishing point. And it will be from the corners. So not everyone is going to have every corner. Some of them may just have one, as if you're going right to the vanishing point. So this box will only have that corner, because we don't see this top. When I do the shading, you'll definitely understand. This line didn't line up correctly to the corner, so I can fix that now. Okay, now I can go right to the corner, just like that. Now this box in the middle, I'm going to go from these two corners. Watch this. One. This is fun learning how to use a ruler. But always put your pencil back on the dot, your vanishing point dot, and you can go from the corners. You don't need to do the bottom corners because you can't see the bottom of those tunnels. It'll be the opposite when we do the bottom. And here we go. From the vanishing point, line this up. I know my boxes aren't perfectly lined up, but that's okay. Right through to there. I don't need to draw that one. Why do you think? You have this face in the way. You don't need it. You don't see that. Just like the top, it's just the opposite. Now I'm going to go from here again. Put your pencil on the vanishing point to the corner. Don't let the ruler move. These are done. What's left will be the sides and the bottom. So let's go from the outside corners. The key is to go to the outside corner for all of them, and you'll see how it works. So the outside to the vanishing point, but I'm not drawing through it. That stays white. Put your pencil on the vanishing point. That is where your eye is looking. And then you go from the corner to where the vanishing point would have been. Oops, let me finish that line. Okay, now I'm doing the outside again. So from the outside to the vanishing point. Let's line it up. Vanishing point to the outside. Good. Vanishing point to the outside corner. So my drawing is done. Oh, no, it's not. Bottom, sorry. Okay. So I'm going to go from the bottom corner, line it up with the vanishing point, bottom corner of that square. Turn this, and from the corner in. My drawing part is complete. Don't be afraid to pause the video if you want to follow along as you're drawing. So So we're going to start in the center and we're going to build these tunnels as if light is on the outside and then it gets darker inside. So what I want to do is start at the vanishing point on this top part, this top triangle, and that's going to be the ceiling of the top of this tunnel, and that's going to be the darkest value. So I color it or shade it so that it gets to the darkest, and then as I'm going away from it, I'm going to start just pressing lighter and lighter and lighter, and then eventually it's going to be so light that it's as if I'm just tickling the paper. So you see it's a nice smooth value scale, and it gets lighter and lighter. Okay, now I can do the bottom of this triangle, and this is the bottom of this tunnel. Again, the darkest value because it's further away from you, which is the furthest from the light. And then you gradually press lighter and lighter and lighter. And as you get closer to the bottom of the square, so light you're just tickling the paper. Okay? And then you're going to do the sides of the box. And you're going to start seeing something really cool. It's going to start looking 3D. So I press harder in the middle and lighter, either value scale from dark to really light. This is pure white. Okay, starting to look 3D, isn't it? Again, start the inside, pressing harder, and go lighter. You don't have to press terribly hard. You can just go over it more and it'll get darker. Okay, and then as you're getting away from the vanishing point, closer to the outside of the box, the tunnel, it gets lighter and lighter. See how it already looks 3D? Okay, now you're going to do the same thing in the other squares. So I'll show you how to do this one. So this ceiling inside is going to be quite dark, isn't it? Because you can't see light hitting it. I'm going to turn this so I can see what I'm doing. You can turn your paper, of course, because your paper should not be nailed down to the table. And then as you're going up inside that box, you're going to go lighter and lighter and lighter, just like you did the first one. You could always go over it. Just press lightly and go over it more often, and then go lighter. You could even erase the over shading. Okay? And we'll go back to this, and I'm going to do the sides. So the sides are going to be just as dark as the farthest point of the ceiling, and then you go lighter. This goes faster. Okay, and then on this side, press harder, and you go lighter and lighter, and then just erase the stuff you don't need. Okay.